Hello everyone, tonight we're going to be finally getting back to the CK3 after a long time of not streaming it because, I've just been streaming other things and I've also been busy with the other things outside of streaming for quite a while. Like, a good portion of this month. But before we get into the game, game there's an article that I've been meaning to bring up. Like I've been specifically holding it back for when I finally get around to doing more Crusader Kings 3 again. And so let me just get that ready. So yeah, I occasionally browse Facebook. Most of the time, the main thing of interest for me there ends up being ads, and I saw this ad that showed a screenshot of Age of Empires 2, and it's like, oh, what's this? And it linked me to this article. Gotta real quick get the song requests set up on this scene. Even as I didn't already have it up already. This, this article goes in some wild directions. You know, like immediately it starts off with, I recently rediscovered a PC game I wasted many of my teenage hours on. Already a bad sign in my experience for an article about video games to be immediately calling them a waste of time. Because like it's never just simply because like in the now two times I've run across somebody that refers to playing games in their teenage years as explicitly a waste of time. It's never as simple as, oh, they could have been more productive. It's always like vaguely derogatory towards games as an entire like form of media. And is naturally very much a sign of bias. Is it Age of Empires 2? A war strategy game in which you play as one of several dozen civilizations, mostly from the Middle Ages. Which, I mean, no shit. Which I guess, if I recall correctly, Heckley, mate, oh, this is a from a political magazine, so it's not exactly designed for, it's not exactly written for gamers. So I think I just used the word gamer on it ironically. Anyway, an attempt to conquer other peoples in the basic gameplay. In the basic gameplay, the player is given a group: the Mayans, the Britons, the Saracens, etc., and builds a little town from scratch using beautiful isometric villagers. Your townspeople collect boar meat and put up mills and farms and mines, and gradually you build a flourishing economy. Once the economy is up and running, you must build a giant army and conquer some other society at the other end of the map, on the other side of the map, maneuvering knights and swordsmen and archers and pikemen and trebuchets and monks, and marauding through enemy territory, battering down fortifications, burning castles to the ground, and turning the other players' glorious civilizations to piles of ruins. It is, I have to confess, tremendous fun. So first off, you don't have to build a giant army to win it. You don't have to send a giant army on the attack to win Age of Empires. Like if you play in like the King of the Hill, or Wonder Race game mode, the former is entirely defensive. And once you have the hill, and the latter is a mix of defensive and economic gameplay, because you're just trying to be the first one to build a wonder. So unless you're falling behind, you don't really need to go on the attack. Age of Empires 2 is now 20 years old, and I hadn't played it since high school, but has apparently maintained a huge fanbase for years. There's still thousands of multiplayer games happening all around the world at any one time. I can see why. The dozens of different civilizations and locations and types of military units. I feel like you used and more than you really needed to. Like you could have omitted that first and if you were just gonna use it again. I mean that there are endless permutations of possible games. There are whole YouTube channels that show nothing but videos of Age of Empires 2 games. It has been called the game that keeps on giving. Which I'm willing to, which they only linked one, and which is interesting. Like why not just link the search results? That at least that would arguably prove your point better, because then and it, like it's because then the plural would make clearer sense. It has been also okay. It is just Age of Empires. Here's some of the looks of it. First, I thought that first one of the thumbnails made me think that maybe they had tried another like RTS game or something. Show nothing but videos of Age of Empires 2 games. Sound effects are also tremendous, with monks chanting, villagers grunting, wild animals roaring and snarling, and swords clanking. After playing for a few hours this week and becoming my high school self for a bit, I remember just how engrossing the game should be. Even though my mind is now generally occupied with loftier thoughts, again, extremely biased statements. I quickly found myself getting wrapped up in Age of Empires. I think they're missing a possessive there. Strategy questions. Yes, I very much am nitpicking the grammar of a professional like politics journalist. But hey, if you're going to write as a profession, you should get your grammar right. I quickly found myself getting wrapped up in Age of Empires strategy questions. Is it better to aggressively send small raiding parties early in the game to hobble the opponent's infrastructure, or fortify one's defensive position, building up one's own economic might, and then swarm in with a giant occupying force later on? What is the correct ratio of civilian into military population? And which bits of siege equipment are most useful, and in which contexts? Why are all my mounted camel archers dying so rapidly during the first wave of my incursion into enemy territory? Do they need new armor? How many castles should I build? My current affairs colleague, Orin Nimni, and I became temporarily obsessed with trying to beat the computer on moderate setting. There are 3 harder modes, but we are not very good at the game. So that's another thing to note. So they admit that they're not very good at the game. He kept losing and re-strategizing, but did an army of elephants do the trick? It did. But in addition to feeling the thrill that comes with being a successful simulated historical military commander, playing Age of Empires again gave me another sensation I remember from high school. A sense of futility and numbness, even boredom. If you're feeling a sense of futility and numbness and even boredom from the video game you were playing in high school, maybe you should have played a different video game. Every game of Age of Empires is astonishingly different, but also drearily the same. Build an army, tear across the land, slaughter the enemy, declare victory. Again, other game modes exist for a reason. If you do, congratulations, you're the #1 empire. A trumpet sounds to celebrate you. The words "You are victorious" appear on the screen, then it turns black. In Age of Empires, you carefully build a huge civilization brick by brick. But every part of its society exists to support its desires to conquer and destroy. Yet, you're playing an RTS, not like a deep. Like, I mean, the game we're gonna be playing tonight is a deeper like historical simulation than Age of Empires 2. You may build monasteries and universities, but universities simply research new technologies that will help you attack and defend against other civilizations, and monks are a weapon of war, healing soldiers and converting enemy units to your cause. What cause? The cause of the team, the red team winning instead of the blue. Yeah, yeah. It's called the video game has a set of conditions by which you win, and so all of the mechanics are going to impact the way you win in some way. Objectively examined, the Empire, Earth and Age of Empires are bleak places indeed. They have no culture, no values, they are worthless. The society is dedicated only to work and war. When they are not holding their castles and markets, villagers chop wood, tend farms, and mine gold and holder stone. They all dress identically and toil non-stop without sleep or leisure. They're pure resource maximizers. Everyone in your civilization obeys your commands without question. And there are no politics, legislatures are absent. You're a dictator, and if you order a pack of a dozen knights to cross the forest to their certain death, they will do so. Without complaint. And you may even order units to kill themselves if they are a burden to the population. Like they paint this picture as if these little pixel people are real. as if, this is an actual civilization. But it's super not. It's entirely just sort of an abstraction of a civilization for the purposes of a fun video game. It's not that deep. I am not one to apply moral standards to video games, but something does depress me about this kind of simulator for too long. It's not a simulator, it's a strategy game. Like, of course, a game that's not trying to be a simulator is going to fail at being a simulator. Like, if you want to play a simulator, try, like, I don't know, Dwarf Fortress, The Sims, Crusader Kings 3, even. Literally, all of them are going to do a better job at giving this guy what he wants. But oh no, he's gonna just paint literally an entire genre, with the same brush because probably even an entire form of media with the same brush because an example of that form of media did not hold up to his high standards. It's like going to live in Sparta for a while. Everything on your mind is related somehow or other to the question of war. Are my farms doing well? Good. Then I can build more cavalry. Have we advanced our learning? Excellent. Then we may equip our ships with cannons. Cannons. This game is a competition, and the aim is to beat the other guy, not to achieve enlightenment or establish democracy or give everyone a good life. Of course not. Like it says so right on the tin, and basically like hold on, let me just like pull up the Steam page for Age of Empires 2. I'm opening in Steam, so unfortunately you're not gonna see the actual page. Let's see. Age of Empires 2 celebrate blah 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 blah. Okay, okay, the this is a definitive edition. Let me just get the HD edition description. And for all the original single player campaigns from both Age of Kings and the Conquerors expansion. But you know what? Let's see. Let's see if we've got just like a broad, just like an official description as to what the gameplay is supposed to be about. Oh, here we go. We've got the back of the box for Age of Empires 2. Rome has fallen and the world is up for grabs. Experience real-time evolution as you build your civilization into a flourishing empire from the Dark Age to the Imperial Age. Decide whether to conquer the world through military might, commerce, or diplomacy. or intrigue and regicide. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. The regicide game mode. Like this fundamentally like, but like when a game has an expansion called The Conquerors, you sh- you shouldn't expect it to be the like specifically about like peacefully. Like, I mean, look here, look at the bottom, anime, blood, violence. And it's like, also command one of the of 13 civilizations, including the Franks, Japanese, Vikings, Mongols, and Celts. Battle alongside heroes of the day such as Joan of Arc, William Wallace, and Genghis Khan. Like nothing about this. Oh, in fact, actually, funny enough, Age of Empires 2 The Conquerors is the one that introduced all of the game modes I was talking about before. So, experience new game types with Wonder Race. These Defend the Wonder and King of the Hill. So, maybe he was just playing without the Conquerors expansion. So he didn't have any of those. But then that means that, but like that, that just means that he probably didn't look into much of anything before getting into the game. But either way, plus also those are still which which fun fact you can. I know at least with the original version of End of Age of Empires 2, like its original release, you could play completely like you didn't even have to have enemies if you didn't want to technically. Like some of my earliest experiences with the game were me as a young child, probably too young, but yeah, because like I definitely played it before I was even like 13. I would just set myself up on a random map with an ally because the game doesn't stop you from starting it up with no enemies. So as long as so like you can lock in and you can even like lock it in to where you don't have to or like your or one ally they can't declare war on you, I'm pretty sure, because they certainly never did on me. And so hey, 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 you can just and so like if you do that, you can just play the game with no fighting. Like, I would just build an entire army to go on parades when I was younger, because that's all they were good for when there's no war to fight. Like, guess I could defend my villagers against wolves, but that was about it. Granted, I think I also used to like to basically like clear cut forests with trebuchets, but that's besides the point. You also don't have to do that either. Age of Empires is highly reminiscent of Chit. It has no shit. Like, of course, a game that is pretty much a descendant of chess, as are pretty much all strategy games, seeing as how chess is among the oldest ones. A game I have never liked. Again, you know, because it consists of finding a million different ways to win a pointless tabletop war. I see why people do like it and can spend their entire lives thinking about almost nothing but chess, because as with Age of Empires, there's so much to think about logistically, and victory can be very satisfying. But there's something that makes me queasy about both games. They seem so spiritually hollow. All you do is kill the other person's pieces elaborately. Personally, I can only find this fun about 4 times because I can't be passionate about no logistics to avoid values. Fair. Like yeah, when of course something's gonna be unappealing when you you believe it's pointless. But you didn't have to write an entire article about that. You could have just gone your entire life holding that personal opinion to yourself. But instead you have to publish it so you can be self-righteous about it. This is also why I could never find satisfaction working for a company that did something pointless, no matter how much interesting puzzle solving was involved in my job. In fact, I confess I don't like competitive games generally. Nor do I like prizes or the Olympics or capitalism or card games or anything that involves pitting people against each other to see who is better. I mean, prizes aren't even always interesting. They would specify prizes because raffles exist. The only in a fair raffle, the only like way you could consider somebody to be better than anyone else because they won is by some abstract concept of luck. It always seems to me need to be somewhat arbitrary, given that much of the outcome is determined by the random distribution of privilege, money, talent, and free time. And I don't. Hey, dude. All of the quite a few of those things things that you listed, some of those factors don't even apply to because like, if you're like involved in professional football, for instance, that's your job. That's not your free time anymore. Your free time is when you're not doing football. I don't see why it should be of any interest who outperforms who in any context. Be, be, because it's cool to see people will be good at things. Also, like the Olympics, like sports are all. As much as I'm not a sports person, sports all also tend to build on like a concept of an in group. Like, basically when you're the idea is that when your local team excels at sports, you have somehow excelled by association. I get the same feeling playing a game of Scrabble that I do playing Age of Empires. What on earth am I doing putting my energy into figuring out who can beat the other person at a random task? Because it's fun. But I guess this guy doesn't find that fun. And so now he has to try and make everyone else feel bad for finding anything remotely competitive fun. Competition occurs whenever two or more parties strive for a common goal which cannot be shared. Everyone's gain is the other's loss. Nearly every terrible thing that humans have ever done has involved competition. Like, fair. But like I talked to my brother about this article, and he pointed out, evolution. Like, without competition, there would probably be no humans because competition is a key part of evolution. Survival of the fittest and all that. And you can't really say that a video game that you play for fun is at all on par with I don't know, like genocide. Because when two people play a video game, unless it gets like exceptionally heated, and the losing player tries to like kill the winner for real or something, nobody actually dies. That there's no reason then people cannot have shared cannot have common goals that can be shared. This is why a great amount of competition is constructed artificially. Two basketball teams could collaborate to see how many times they could get a ball in a basket. But this would be considered pointless and boring. Yeah, it would. Because board games are competitive because cooperative board games are generally speaking dull. I once played an obscure board game called Rainbow Land, in which players work together to or collect raindrops to help the will hold a rainbow. I understood immediately why it did not catch on. Age of Empires is much more exciting. I mean, admittedly, admittedly, like there is one, at least one, and like board game, like cooperative board, to my knowledge, cooperative board game, or at least semi-cooperative, because it has a concept of like cooperation spaces where you share resources with other players. There's a I played maybe when I was younger, where that's supposed to teach you about like herbal medicine. And honestly, some of the fun was to just see like what horrific shape you would end up in, because you would land on these problems squares and draw like some kind of ailment that's supposed to be treated with an herb later. Later, if you can draw the right one, then at some point. The entire time you're just trying to get to this bush and then get back to your grandma's house with the X number of baskets of berries. But like half the fun, in my opinion, was just finding out like how many horrible ailments will I have by the time I get back to grandma's house. Oh, and here's just a broken image. Exciting, but also a tedious dead end. Age of Empires is in many ways impressively historically accurate in its recreation of ancient battles, costumes, and architecture. It's also accurate in depicting the tragedy of the real Age of Empires itself, of the thousands of Ozymandiases who strove to be the king of kings, pillaging and destroying in an effort to achieve immortal recognition, only to end up dead like everybody else. The endless warfare that has taken up so much of human history has, in part, been intractable because there is something exciting and appealing about the nationalist drive to dominate, to be the greatest country on earth, to be exceptional. I mean, I guess. Like, it tends to mostly appeal to the people in charge of said country. Or at the very least, the people that believe they will be uplifted should they help, help in that effort. Competitive urge is a destructive and sociopathic urge. Ah, yes. The here this is why I wanted to talk about this article, because I like that means that by the fact that I enjoy things like Magic the Gathering, and I am a destructive sociopath in this guy's eyes. It means total destruction to one's own success and a desire. It means total dedication to one's own success and desire to prevent that ahead of others. The spheres in which this is useful need to be carefully delimited. Yeah. In foreign policy, it is deadly. In economics, it creates ceaseless exploitation. In education, it puts students under constant pressure to outperform their peers. Going on an Xbox or chessboard is relatively harmless, but I certainly do not want to spend much of my time coming up with new ways to try to be better than other people. I mean here's the thing. Like if your approach to a video game, if you feel that being good at a video game would inflate your ego so much that's comparable to like the like the privilege of being like being in a privileged majority, you know, being just outright being considered just outright better than other people by your surrounding society. Maybe there's something wrong with your approach to the video game if you think it's that important in the grand scheme of things. Whether at Canasta or at maneuvering. What even is Canasta? Oh, it's just a card game. Or maneuvering pixelated paladins across 15th century Europe. The pleasures of simulated mass murder are hard to replicate, although they seem to be felt mostly by men. And I would guess the Age of Empires player community, like that of chess, is overwhelmingly male. A suspicion not disconfirmed by the demographics of the AOE YouTube broadcasters I watched. I mean, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the appeal of the game itself, more so like the rampant sexism that tends to occur in just about any community that has a large number of men in it. But especially ones that have to do with like competition. However, empty their inner lives may be, being a king or a dictator and is much more satisfying than being an ordinary human being who has to make constant compromises to get along with others. Others, if the desire to hold and exercise power over others is innate and ineradicable, then let us confine it to empire simulators and football games. But personally, I grew weary of Age of Empires again and quite quickly, and I doubt I will return to it. I am no longer in the mood to compete with anyone, not when there is so much we need to work on together. Like, like you could have just typed in some of the stuff in the early bit into a not recommended Steam review and left it at that. But instead, you just had to. Instead, you turned it around. You turned it into this massive deal, and turned around and and continued with your own biases is by finishing off by dunking on anyone who enjoys competitive games, saying that they're giving into a destructive and sociopathic urge that is the urge, and that they are compensating for their empty inner life. Like I, like I if if I play, for instance, CK3, like I'm, about to after 49 minutes. Is because I have a quote unquote empty inner life. How empty does your inner life have to be for you to be this much of a self righteous prick? Alright, time to actually play Hey, a video game. Almost an hour into the stream. Switch back to just my intro scene. Like wait for CK3 to get up and running. Probably should have been working on that aspect of the whole situation. Ooh, apparently apparently it's a newer version now, so hopefully it didn't break my save, because otherwise I'm gonna have to start all over. Which I mean, which apparently like there were some pretty major bugs I wasn't even aware of when I was playing the last time. Like apparently he like he could the AI's ability to wage holy wars was broken. Like they just wouldn't declare them. Maybe things will get a bit more interesting since we're playing in Iberia, and you know in this early phase of the game, it's far from being united under any singular or faith. Just gotta wait for game to actually load. So far, it's just showing me a black screen, meaning that just turned white because it's threatening to crash, as it likes to do. Currently, next time I should just have it ready to go before I even go live. I think it's crashed. It's gonna just start it up again. Which one interesting thing is that it got the achievement history's best friend, sleep with your best friend while having the ritualized friendship cultural tradition. Like that's implied to be like, oh, oh, the like the the cultural tradition gave you access to the ability to sleep with your best friend, but in actuality, it's just simply the way I got it. I'm pretty sure it's just simply my character's wife is also his best friend. So like, it's like you can like I guess if you're both spouses and best friends with someone, then you can make like banging your spouse sound infinitely any more wild by being like, yeah, I banged my best friend. Just omit the fact that they're your spouse because you know it's not untrue. Right, the game is actually loading this time, so I guess I'll switch scenes. Yeah, there we go. It's currently not. It's currently silent, however. Until it starts playing sounds, I'm just gonna bring back sound request. So you know, we at least have some music going. Granted, because I haven't heard anything from Hot Dad saying, you know, whether or not I would get DMC on YouTube. Noob yet. I still have it set up to filter out to just not include song requests on the VOD, just in case. Because you know I don't have any Orion experience for you know reasons in the playlist anymore. But you know I'm not 100% certain about Hot Dad's policy because like he specified in the tweet that even made me aware that I could play his tracks on on stream. He specified streamers, so so I don't know if that includes VODs upload to YouTube. Which I mean, I suppose I could just take all the Hot Dad tracks off of the, the playlist until I get confirmation, and then I should be able to upload. Then I should be able to, you know, include song requests in the upload to YouTube just fine. Because everything else is Redbox and video game music, and Redbox specifically includes both Twitch and YouTube. I'm pretty sure. So, oh, and we still got a lot of Roll for Fantasy stuff, but that's uh, that's as simple as just as remembering to include who the required every bit of text in the description. Yeah, that's not gonna get auto filtered. It's taking its sweet time to, to load the game. You know, every additional minute that it takes to load the game is one less minute that we have to actually play the game. Jimmy and Millie, you know, I did kind of underestimate how how much time I would end up devoting to that article. Like I thought, like originally planned to just kind of like skim through it. To, but I figured, I might as well actually read the whole thing while I was there. I think it's either crashing or about to get to the main menu. It was neither. Or at the very least, if it was crashing, it didn't stay crashing. Oh, there we go. We're finally in. And there's actually sound now. Oh, from the game. So as soon as the the audio output capture actually let's capture it. There we go. It's just a little quiet. And also set on the wrong source. Right now we can finally get back to ruling over Toledo. And the fact that I can just continue rather than having to specifically load the save, it was definitely a good sign. You know, nothing is too seriously broken. And with the recent update, let's see, powerful vassal wants a council position. Let's see. Let's see for learning, but also substantially worse than our existing guy for that. So you can just sit there with your native 21 total opinion of me. And demand payment from CK3 for our strong hook. And for being best friends. So it's about finding spouses for children. Well, our son, our brother, and our sister. Apparently, we're also third in line to inherit that guy's title, so... Which he is our nephew, so... Oh, that's why. Like, I think we gave him that title the last stream, so... Let's see, our son... Son is gay, apparently. You know, this Middle Ages, that's not gonna stop us from finding him a wife. Probably don't... I doubt homoeroticism... Yeah, I mean, homoeroticism... Actually, same-sex relationships are fully accepted. We just don't have the concept of gay marriage. So, you know, we're living in a time where it's more acceptable to marry this man to a 7-year-old girl than a man and his age. Alright, so here's the first adult on the list that will guess any decent and alliance. A child of my dynasty, my daughter-in-law Sonia, given birth to a daughter. Since the little one is part of the Banu Kazi dynasty, she should be blessed with a good name. So, for our brother, 42. Sort of chiefdom of guess this will be useful alliance. Then sister can marry her off to one of her vassals. Also is also our chancellor. Or, you know, Yeah, of course they won't accept a matrimonial marriage, but oh well. Mostly just after alliances as of these marriages, so... The last time we were working on founding a kingdom, which are, and the kingdom title is Kingdom of Andalusia. And we need 10 desert or counties, 2 duchy titles, and 500 gold. So we need 2 more counties. Counties from within this area. And to form 2 duchy titles. So we need 500 gold to form a kingdom. Yeah, we need 750 gold total. I guess we'll continue, expanding southwards. There's into these puny little kingdoms over here. These puny little sheikdoms over here. Yeah, their military strength is vastly inferior to ours. You could also go after these people over here, but I don't think they have any counties of any significant use to us, though. Yeah, because they're all in a different integer or kingdom. Guess we'll just go to war against this person. Probably don't need to call in allies. Yeah, we've got more than twice as many troops as they do, so let's see. Well, his numerous attempts to curry my favor has not gone unnoticed. I can't feel but irritated by Yaya's innocent interest in me. I cannot shake the feeling the man's intentions are not pure. Why can you not leave me in peace? If you don't want to completely destroy our relationship with a member of our council. Oh, apparently we formed an alliance with somebody of a different faith, so now the struggle has gained more points towards conciliation. It's currently an opportunity. And hostility and conciliation are neck and neck. Oh, her claim on title under the juror of Hispania. Isn't that pretty much all of Iberia? I think we are faring way worse than expected. Perhaps call in an ally. Yeah, this turned out way worse. As I kind of expected, because like, which most of that is just because some of her troops marched in before the others, and so they were already involved in the battle before the rest of the army arrived. Our wife is giving birth to Andrew Goto. I guess her wife isn't her best friend, so... Or at least that wife isn't. And since we have multiple... And we just have the two. Now we should actually perform better in this battle. We're gonna fight them again. Shedding this mortal coil. I wake in the middle of the night and see a dark figure in my chambers. I know what has happened to my guards, but I know not what has happened to my guards, but then when I see the glint of moonlight reflecting off the blade, I know that it's too late for me. A sufficiently sharp dagger makes a little sound as it pierces his flesh and throat. With a flash of agonizing pain, I could not tell if my screams were any more audible. Well, now we've got a new ruler. A band of several hundred pale-skinned Sakaliba enslaved native men and women from the eastern reaches of Europe escaped the realm of my brother Emir Isa. Talk as he may about how treasured they were in his armies, Isa and his harem, they have braved many dangers to seek freedom in my land. We all have scars, said leader Nervishislav, Elf tells me. On our bodies or deep inside, but we are strong and determined. We long for some land of our own where we can speak our ancestral tongue. If you let us settle the Vilaya of Hivokana, we would work hard to make it prosper. You know what? Sure. Right. Call our house members. Members want not to head into the war. Let's see. We have no lifestyle focus, so choose between foreign affairs, majesty, or family. Either better diplomacy, prestige gain, or inner fertility. Let's go for family. Only at least to start with. Also, did we lose anything? I don't think we had the story before. Of course, you've gotta have a faction. Faction military power 292%. We have empty council positions, so this problem might go away if we just fill out our council a little bit, because okay, diplomacy is his best stat. See, Musa. Is our best steward. Yeah, he's not gonna beat a 29 learning, so oh, and Uncle Ordy can be our spy master. And our court physician can be hero marshal as well. We also have too few spouses, so we only have the one. And so let's secure some additional alliances. Ooh, somebody that's actually of similar power. And we have alliances that we can negotiate as well. Oh, and apparently we're next in line for the sheikdom of Navarra and Najira. Played enough CK3 to not need constant advice pop-ups, other than like stuff I'm not super familiar with yet from recent DLCs. Right. Alliance formed. Game at court. Fucking immediately someone is trying to kill me. Is going into hiding not a thing in this version? Okay, I know that was a thing in CK2. Actually, it might just be in a different menu. Now, if I'm not seeing any option to go into hiding, so I get the feeling that our brother's probably somehow involved. Oh, I mean, we no longer have a faction to worry about. You're being called in as an attacker. Yeah, sure. Not sure how much we'll really be able to do. No, I don't really need your help. Especially since I'm slowly running out of money. I can't really afford to just be spending, hitting 100 gold on hiring assistants I don't need. Murder Preventer, or the Gourmet Nose. As I tuck into my favorite dinner, a curious smell strikes my nose. Hints of acidity linger beneath its usual aroma. The balance of the spices seems off. For questioning the cook, who said all was prepared normally, only one thought is in my mind. Someone tried to poison me. Someone has failed to murder me. I at least don't have to worry about that. As we can just focus on this war. Really use some backup over here. But not that kind of backup. You know, the kind that's gonna cost me 100 gold. You know, I could use the assistance of my actual allies. Manipulation. The first time it happened, I barely even gave it a moment's thought, but my vassal, Wally Munio, has grown bolder. His challenge is no longer as unnoticed among my vassals. He's testing my limits, the others are sure to follow, unless I give him a taste of his own medicine. The shall have tasks which are impossible to complete. A subtle threat of violence will put an end to this, or how dare you challenge your emir? Let's see. Either of these will get us 50 lifestyle experience. In fact, neither of them have any difference other than like the odds of a particular outcome, but neither of them listed as specific odds, so stoking the fire. There have been clashes between the Mualadi and the Mozarabic population and the Sheikdom of Tudela. Less useless opportunity, my steward was suggest to recruit affordable soldiers from among the Mualadi militias. And if they continue their training, in their home country, that isn't so, and their home county, that isn't so bad either. You might actually encourage that to let head Tudela burn in order to enlist these violent fanatics. So because we're just, either of these would give us 38 stress. So I'm gonna go with, no, I shall try to ease the tension. Well, it looks like we've just barely won this fight. Oh, and we no longer have a spy master, so guess we'll put our powerful vassal and brother in charge of that position. Call in some additional help. We're having to fight them yet again, pretty much immediately. Oh, you just, once again, somebody's offering to help me in a war or in exchange for money. I don't want your help. Oh, we actually, nope, we lost. But you know, maybe if literally any of our allies had tried to help, then we wouldn't have lost. Oh, I guess we did have some allies helping. 58 of them. Oh, the few allies has actually had much support, basically just squandered it. It says I can call allies to war, and yet I can't. Well, at least we've got a child on the way. We need to secure our dynasty. Again, game, I know how mercenaries work. I just can't really afford a whole lot of them because I have 236 gold and no income. Not sure. Just this once. to get this war over with. This a bit faster. No, I don't need multiple people learning this same kind of deal. Right, so we should have a decisive victory here now because we've got over 1,000 troops on our side. Apparently, even just the act of constructing a building at castle holding contributes to hostility. So, because we've got these guys keeping the enemy at bay. Hey, we can focus on the siege. Guess I'm joining in a defensive war against Asturias. Fantastic. You know, at least this isn't. At least it's only the war leader that can lose anything in these wars, so. You know, joining in as an ally is largely safe. Now, I'm not gonna. Got enough going on. I don't need to also join in defending against a peasant uprising. I guess we do. I guess this family focus was a good fit because I didn't even notice it. We already had three of the benefits from the family hierarchy tree. We can befriend. We've got plus 0.5. We have a friend scheme power in the challenge support game interaction. Allowing me to play friendly games with our characters. See, your board games can be friendly, even if they're competitive. Plus, you know, that's a mechanic that's not entirely devoted to warfare. Granted, you know, this is an Age of Empires 2, so you know, that point, from that article doesn't really super apply, but confidant once each front and adds a minus 5% stress gain. And in group rule, children receive 1 to 3 extra skill points. things are not looking great over there. So let's just focus on what's going on down here instead. Got 6 months left in the siege, so this war should be over in 6 months then. And early so. Got another lifestyle perk. We can either bump the friend up a bit more, or gain increase close family opinions. Let's go with that. Then next we can go with either flatter or thicker than water. Oh, we're finally winning a war. The one we started. We're losing both of the ones that we joined in on as an ally. We're just not gonna worry about those two right now. Now we're gonna just focus on this one and get it done. Yeah, as was kind of expected. Well, Isa lost his realm and has become a vassal of King Alfonso the Third. I guess that means that if we die too soon, then presumably we'll also be like all of Toledo will also go to Asturias, because we'll be playing as one of his vassals. That's a strategy I hadn't even really thought much about. Just conquer somebody's heir that has their own, or who happens to have their own separate title. Yep, now I have to pay out the 100 gold. Hey, we've got an available family legacy. You can go with either metropolitan. Every city increases the monthly development growth of its county by 20%. Inner circle. House members will not need a salary when appointed to a court position, and can be fired without losing prestige. That could be useful. Language scholars can learn one additional language without having any penalties. Gain 1% cultural acceptance when completing learn language schemes. Names it House of Warriors. Prowess +2. No, net effectiveness +15. 9%. Mostly fair, popular opinion +5. Hunted feast cost -30%. ominous reputation, plus 20%, plus 15 natural dread, noble veins, chance of inheriting good congenital traits, plus 30%, chance of new good congenital traits, plus 30%, expedition, well, erudition, vibrant court, courtier and guest opinion, plus 10%, what, not, plus 10%, plus 10, court grandeur bonus, plus 5, better guests will be attracted, guest recruitment cost, minus 30%. That's not super useful right now because we don't have a court. Because that requires theirs being a kingdom. Or empire. Desired match, marriage acceptance plus 30. Or kin. Fertility plus 10%. And attraction opinion plus 5. Oh, that's court position. Because admittedly, I didn't think you paid out a salary to council members, so yeah, court positions or specialized roles courtiers and vassals can be granted in order to aid their liege. You know what, let's go for bounteous loins. You know, continue on with having just spreading our genes with an increase to a further increase to our fertility and a bump to our attractiveness. Like, you know, our wife's opinion has increased. Our wife's penalty to her opinion of us from her gluttony has been offset by their bounteous loins. Yeah, sure. I'm not even entirely sure who you are. Are you the guy from the guy who used to rule? No, clearly not, because he's one of my vassals. So I'm not entirely sure who that guy was. Oh boy, another daughter. We really need somebody to replace Isa as our heir. Right, finally, we have a son. So as long as he's kept safe, if we shouldn't have to worry about just healing over and then then immediately switching over to being a vassal of Asturias. In fact, we can inherit the Duchy of Navarra from right out from under Isa. Apparently the Kingdom of Navarra is also out here, so presumably Simply that means that if we can, if we can inherit Navarra, then we can just take it right back from Asturias. So Isa might just end up being. Hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, it would mean a bit of the stress for poor Muhammad, because he's too just. He doesn't want to murder his own brother, and nephew. Maybe that's not the route we'll take to reclaim Navarra. But we're mostly just waiting. Ooh. Now we're going to be fighting another war against Alfonso. Only this time it's against his tyranny. So maybe Navarre will be liberated from Alfonso's grasp anyway. Well, I mean, if all he's got is like, Isa, what are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Enrique, he rules over the nearby Fiefdom of Calatrava. The which is home to a large number of devout Muladis. The Muslim Sheikh he could easily persecute the faithful Muladis he's living there, and it's my responsibility to protect them from his evil influence. Let's see, we can gain an unpressed claim on Calatrava. Which, I mean, he's one of our vassals. Smuggle as many Muladis as he can to safety. Or send an envoy. Oh, we can just have a 100% chance of just diplomatizing him into not oppressing people. Yeah, that's to be expected. Like, of course we lost when someone else. My wife, Emir Bashira, is once again absent from our chambers as night falls. She has been distant lately, lost in thought and rarely seen at court. Am I not to her satisfaction? Is she simply busy? Or could she be warming someone else's bed? Yeah, let's look into it, but not immediately confront her. Oh boy! Oh, guess this is happening now. Last Viking. Struggling and shouting, and a large man is dragged before me. He's clearly a Viking raider, the type who has sown chaos around for decades. Please have mercy. My name is Total, and I've been living in Kingdom of Granada for years. I was left behind because I was injured. The villagers saved me. They're my family now. The Viking falls to his knees, hoping he'll spare his life. Several peasants confirm his story. As you serve the village, you may live for now. Yeah, that's a sickly child, isn't it? So, not really surprising. Yeah, this is a big problem. I don't even know if us and our allies even have 3,000 troops between us, so... Okay, so you would take the Sheikdom of Jane. So I guess the stakes aren't too high, I don't think. So let's see. This is a title holder by Sheikh Abdallah. Yeah, it's just this patch of land and between in Calatrava and Granada. So it could be much worse. Let's see if we can get any... It'd be great if we could found a holy order at some point. But we would have to first hold a kingdom or an empire. So, that's not really an option right now. And neither is hiring... Well, actually, I think we might be able to manage to hire some mercenaries. Yeah. Granted, we've only got enough to pay them for 3 years. And of course there's also got to be a dangerous faction. things are not going great with this war. Oh, that's for sure. Guess the best we can really do is just like cram ourselves into our best defensive position. And it's probably just gonna be everybody just be stationed at Tudela and let the enemy come to us. Yeah, sure. It may lead to me ending up in debt, but at least I won't lose an entire uh, part of my nation. Although I mean, sounds like it looks like you guys might just get squished pretty much immediately. Just get to Tudela and we'll see what we can do. Especially if you can just kite them over here. Purchase truce to the perceptive Emir Muhammad of Toledo. No, you and I should be friends, not foes. Please accept this gift in exchange for your signature on a treaty of mutual goodwill. Who are you? Okay. It'll probably have been a decade by the time I'm in any position to move against you anyway. Band of lost birds. Wounded and disillusioned mercenary group has arrived in the sheikdom of Calatrava. The locals claim to have overheard talk of settling down after pillaging an easy target, and have begun to grow anxious. Tensions are high and conflict is likely to arise if I do not intervene in the matter. And either offer them a position of the city garrison, implore them to leave, which has an 80% chance of a good outcome, force them out of the city, 100% chance of turning out badly. Alright, hey, peaceful resolution. And murdered in the same exact way as, as my father. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're Emir Ordonio Mohammedes of Toledo, a 2-year-old. And we need to fill our council back up. Looks like we might actually have enough troops to challenge these guys. We've got enough troops, but theirs seem to be better than ours, so we're still at a disadvantage. Ooh. Apparently, apparently we know who killed our father somehow. I think we're gonna lose this war. Wait, if we can strike quickly over here, we might stand a chance. Chance of actually winning a fight. Or they could just leave. And then we end up losing automatically while in the middle of moving. Negotiate an alliance. Somehow, despite being a 2-year-old. We definitely need more allies. Since currently we only have one ally. Oh, now these guys are considered similar. Guess they lost a powerful ally at some point or something. I mean, it's still showing 3,000 troops. We just have 2,000 now. And you can possibly get some more. Second in line to inherit Navarra. So just behind our cousin. Once again, the UI is getting flooded with advice. We've also got the powerful faction yet again. Faction to install Sheikh Motorif of Malagon on the Toledo throne. Let's see if we can find a place for this guy on the council. It's got decent. Should be a decent spy master, although he is a spy master. It's still minus 63 opinion. Your claimant demand to my liege. The right to rule Toledo belongs to Sheikh Motorif of Malagon, by divine right, and we have gathered the support required to make it so. Accept this fact peacefully, or will make you do so by force. The Emir's response: Goo goo gaga. I will not be threatened. Looks like Count Erdan is gonna have to do most of the actual leading. Since, you know, we're getting war declared on us as a literal baby. Like, it's perhaps a toddler. Like, I'm not sure where exactly the line is. Oh, we're now 3. There's so much to... What? Why? How? There's so much to see and smell and touch. Where do you come from? Why is the sky blue? What is beyond that hill? Oh, please, please, I want to go and find out. Why are there people out here that are not getting up? Is this really all the support we have? Like, this is not enough. And we don't have the money to hire anyone to help, so I guess technically we might be able, if somebody wants to, you know, make one of those deals. Secondly, heap of settlers. The band of several hundred pale skin. Oh, we've heard all of this before. Look how contemplative the baby looks. Like, ah yes, I am 3 years old, but I am already considering deep, like, cultural issues. Oh, and our mercenary contract is expiring. I don't even see the mercenaries anywhere. The scorching midday heat, they sit in the shadow under a great pine, playing on lutes and flutes. They sing in many tongues, yet my heart can understand every word. I can hear them from my balcony, and they stir my 3-year-old soul. Yet I do not know the identity of these musicians. And when I leave my lofty halls and approach the tree, they are gone. Are they sent from heaven? Are they phantoms devised by Shaitan to ensnare me? Perhaps not. But what am I to do with these damned feelings? Is it perhaps just that my object permanence isn't fully developed yet, and they are in fact just behind the tree? Somehow they've dropped down to 16. Huh? Well, they've lost quite a bit of their support, so maybe we can take some stuff back. Well, I mean, we've also lost quite a bit of our support because we no longer have the mercenaries helping. But at least we can put up somewhat of a fight. Or not. Or we could just lose while in the process of moving once again. If our heir is fourth in line to inherit or to get Toledo back. Next, let's see. As much as we would benefit, especially well in learning or diplomacy, let's go for intrigue. Yeah, let's see if we can just murder our uncle. Oh, once we're not, a small child. Just gotta get good at intrigue. That we can hold on to Chidella. Well, until then. But it's only 11 years. And then we can start killing. Oh, and Isa's back to her player heir. Fair, because we don't have any children, and all of our siblings aren't able to be next in line. And purely because they're women. So maybe when we become maybe when we get Toledo back, we can then do something about that. But right now, oh boy, Chic Enrique is a Chic Enrique and Abdullah Ibn Muhammad of Valencia are both attacking. Fantastic. Okay, so guess the best option in that event is now to just pay them to be instructors. because anything else will go badly. Right, and we need to fill up our council once again. I guess we might as well try and help in this war. Well, in these wars, plural. All to the extent that we can. And because if we just let had our neighbors take everything, and there won't be any Toledo in order to inherit. But where is our uncle's army? Like literally, where are they? Do they just get crushed immediately? I think they just got demolished. Oh, Amir. Are we now? Oh well, hey, that makes things slightly easier for us to have our cousin in charge after. We do still have to kill him. He's just directly in line above us instead. Because being the apparent coward that he is, he left his son in charge, or to basically just take the fall. Oh, and now he's imprisoned. What a lovely display of incompetence. And in fact, he is dead. He was slain in battle against Ali Hashmadan of Alpuna to, like, I don't think he even was taken prisoner. He just died. Like it sounds like they took a corpse prisoner. You know, shame that, you know, our liege doesn't seem to have any forces whatsoever. Like, it's pretty much up to the forces of a literal 7-year-old all to try and do literally anything. because, you know, our uncle took our throne, then lost, then his army got crushed pretty much immediately. Then he abdicated, leaving just a slightly larger child in charge. Like he's like our cousin is only about 2, 3 years older than us. So might as well go up to the full speed. There's not a lot happening until for these next 8 years. Just random events. Maybe a war or two. You know, if somebody he feels fit to declare one, if somebody sees fit to declare one. From fight to friendship. I thought Amir Martin was going to fight maybe if I accidentally pushed him while playing. Accidentally. But his anger passed quickly. Instead, we started talking and then playing some more. It was so much fun, and now we play every day. A shame that I'm gonna have to murder him. Commendations. While spending some time with her, my friend did. Wait, hold on. Some time with her. Oh. My friend Emir Martin and discovered that Mela Prescovia and I have a tense relationship. Martin did not let that stand, however, and somehow convinced Prescovia that I'm not as bad as she thinks. Again, a shame that I'm gonna have to murder him later in order to get my throne back. To the loathsome Gordono. No, we have been burdened with your oppressive laws for far too long. No more. We are done paying you taxes. Once your coffers dry up and larders are empty, you'll wish you had treated us more fairly. Guess I could grant in a tax lien. I barely know what that is. I'm 9. So I'll just go with it. Playtime. I was playing with some other children, and Asnar tried to push me over. Right. That would lower intrigue. That would lower intrigue by more. Oh wait, I just thought of a different game. Game that's pretty fickle. Fickle so I can get +1 intrigue and plus 20% hostile scheme resistance. Unwelcome attention. Busy. He has been pestering me for a long time now. He is vicious, mocking me and pushing me around. I can't get him to stop no matter what I do. He has become my bully. Well, he shall be victim number 4. Oh, actually, we're second in line right now. So, guess he got bumped up to victim number 3. Oh, I guess, yeah, because our uncle died. Hey, that's why. we don't have the pleasure of killing him. Because an enemy knight did that for us. Yeah, just gotta wait another 6 years, and hopefully that will pass by fairly quickly. Stoking the fire. There have been clashes between, yeah. See, 33% chance of the best option, of the best possibility, 42%. Toda, our courtier, gains the opinion of you for 50 years. Well, let's go for the possibility of some dread. Oh, well, that did not turn out as planned. Let's see if we can get good betrothal. Ooh, we can get alliance with the Kurtaba. Let's go alliance power. Yeah, sure, let's... Oh, we're related. How are we related? Because it just says he's a neighboring ruler. I think we gave this guy a wife at some point. I don't I don't see where we're related. It could be a family tree. And this just shows... Like, I'm very confused. It was because I could... I'm not seeing how this child is related to us at all. But you know what? It's the Middle Ages, who cares? It'll get us a good alliance. Surely this won't have lasting effect. As I look upon a young sculptor walking by, sweaty with labor, the blush on her cheeks, I am entranced. What is this feeling, this longing? I am dying it. The Shikazari betrothed has only just now figured out that he's heterosexual. Worldly inspiration. I'm incredibly impressed by him of the household phrase. I was finally introduced to him face to face, and I'm no less impressed as now. Now, I will remember his words for the rest of my life. Let's see, we can become either generous, diligent, or patient. None of these improve our schemes at all. So, you know, let's just go for diligent. And just because it's all around a good trait. I just gotta wait. Plus, it might end up being, you know, starting our plan and to reclaim Toledo might end up being an extreme thing. Like I might at least continue long enough to start. Oh boy. Border raid of Granada. Well, I mean, at least it's not a loss of land. But, you know, we might as well at least pretend to support our cousin. Puppy. I am out playing when I hear it. It is a tiny sound, frail and scared. I look all over, under every stone, around every corner, behind every bush, and finally I find it, a small puppy, all alone, sits between two stones. It's my puppy now. Now, as I pet the dog on the head, he happily wags his tail. What name would suit him? Something historical? Something alluding to his white fur? It is an important decision as the dog rolls over to let me pet his stomach. I find myself distracted for a while, but wait, I know, I will call him Nosewise, Holdfast, or Snow. Now let's go with Holdfast. I like it had growing shadow. Bazee is such a pain. He has apparently ordered the other children to avoid me, and now they'll grow quiet whenever I'm near. I know it is his fault, and the older children mean nothing by it, but it still stings. You won't leave me alone. I do not know what to do. And it's just an additional 30 stress. Of course, our cousin gets the easy war. It's just a border raid of like 300. Soon we can begin the plan. The last stand. The never-ending torment of Bazee. Bazee he subjects me to has got to stop. He teases me mercilessly, pushing me around and humiliating me. This cannot continue. It's time I showed him who he is messing with. So he can either convince Vazzy to stop bullying me with a 77% chance of success, or teach him a lesson with a 66% chance of success. Let's go with the one that we actually convinced him to stop. Object of my desire. I have been wanting a wooden sword for a long while, and my mother, Northania, is promising to get me one in 3 months if I start being more rigorous with my studies. I can either become content, definitely not, or trusting. Content it is, I guess, because either one will hurt our intrigue. But content will do it a little bit less. Notice it now. Just gotta wait out these last. Apparently, he Martinez and his allies with Navarra now. Since they're both engaging in the same conflict on the same side. As he and my counselors are gathering for a meeting, my dog Holdfast approach me. Approach me? My dog Holdfast approached me with begging eyes and drooping tail. He does not like to be left alone, but this is an important meeting. I'm gonna risk the possibility of the dog disrupting the meeting. I'm sorry, Shiko Onyo. No, says my Marshal Muhammad. I have to disagree with what you just. Holdfast gives a guttural growl, and Muhammad jerks back, looking from the dog to me and back. On second thought, I think it's a great idea. Something good happened because as I had the dog with me. Which looks like soon Strickle will erupt into open hostility. Alright, now my focus is on reclaiming my rightful throne. Oh, apparently the Emir is here feels confident enough to start waging some wars of his own and getting his ass kicked and doing it. Guess I'll have to step in. Disorderly market. While surveying the market streets, I encountered distressed as Mutasib and Ramiro. Attempting to enforce market market regulations amongst the peddlers, disorderly argument arrangements, oil beside mosque doors, unskinned rabbits, and cheese in bowls. Halls by Allah, by Allah, you all better listen to me right now. I don't know what exactly is wrong with having cheese in bowls, but this notice he should be punishing market transgressions with violence if necessary. Or he is being ignored by the greed-blinded merchants. What can I do to aid him? I can intervene in the matter and threaten to call a Qadi, which has a 66% chance of success. I can say, why should rules get in the way of business and getting 40 stress? Or I can give them all a stern reprimand. Yeah, sure. I'll go for that. Gain a little dread. The map. My spies have informed me about a hunter causing a ruckus at a local tavern. The man has been spending large amounts of gold and bragging loudly about the great deal he struck with a fancy lord in pearls and silk. Apparently he drew a map out of the local mountains for an unknown nobleman. The spies think the lord must be scheming against me or one of my subjects. He definitely belongs in the dungeon. Apparently we can't stand a chance against these guys. Hold fast, feet and paw. It has become a habit to walk hold fast daily, and I'm not sure which of us enjoy the fresh air and earn some the most. Holdfast bounds ahead and looks back at me. He barks as if to say, "Catch up." And on we walk. Yep, our lead lost the war that he started. I finished my education in the North of Intrigue. Even if I did not achieve much, it is a relief to finally see some results. To take my first steps into adulthood, I find myself reminiscing about some of the people who made an impact on the man I have become. Friendship I shared with Martine meant a lot to me. We were both young, and still have him by my side, it means a lot. So you've become an amateurish plotter. So unfortunately, we didn't do as good as we could have hoped. In fact, we've only got 6 eggs of intrigue. Okay, we can bump that up a bit by going for skullduggery. He is our focus. Get up to at least a 9. And we have an empty council position for a spy master. Let's go for the one that has the best intrigue. Despite the fact that we've got someone who's actually worse than we are at intrigue that just wants a council position. Right, so now starting on a scheme. We can bribe the spy master. Now I've got. Oh, absolutely. Now we are the Spy Master. He has no idea what he has done. He has maneuvered us into position. Into exactly the kind of position we would want. I think that's where I'm gonna leave this off for tonight. Hey, so thank you all to everyone that stopped by, and I had song request overlay on this entire time, despite not playing any song requests. Just find somebody to raid. Next stream will probably be tomorrow night with The Sims 3, or later this week with something else, as I'm pretty much, as I've pretty much just decided to have Sims be on Tuesday. Well, I mean, I haven't actually tried streaming The Sims 3 on its potential scheduled day of Tuesday. Right, so let's send and raid this person. Once again, thank you all for stopping by. Next stream will probably be tomorrow night. It was Sims 3. As yeah, I'm trying to have an actual schedule. Oh, but that doesn't always work out. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow night.